Hello, I am Ingrid Seymour, author of young adult fantasy, sci-fi, and other genres. This is my second episode of what I started in my last newsletter, and I'm very excited about the response the first one had. I got to interact with a lot of new people, a lot of new readers, and that was fantastic. I knew you were there, but I hadn't gotten a chance to meet you, and now I have, and I hope many more will join us and have fun with us. Since the purpose of the podcast for me was to get to know everyone a little bit better and for everyone to get to know me also, I thought that I could share a little bit about myself in every episode. And I thought it would be interesting to share the journey that brought me where I am. It's quite a journey, so it will take several episodes for me to share that. So I think one of the most important things to share where everything began, well, was the day I was born. No, I'm just kidding. I won't go that far back. But the day that I decided to learn English and how I learned English. Learning English was life-changing for me. And without it, I couldn't do or couldn't have done half the things that I have, including writing, which is, as you know, my passion. So it all began when I was 15, and if you are aware, in the Latin American culture, turning 15 is a big deal, and people and parents throw these big parties for their kids, for their girls, and there's this big dress and cake, and people come to the party, and it's, they throw the house out the window, like we say back home. I don't know if that's a saying here or not, but even at 15, I thought to myself, I didn't want to have such party. It was gonna be a lot of money spent. My mom and my dad would have to spend a lot of money for this party that I thought I wasn't gonna be the only one to enjoy. It sounds kind of selfish, but I thought all these people and some people that I don't even know will be at this party, and it will be one night and then it'll be over. And I was expected to get in some big dress that I didn't want to wear. So I told my mom, why don't we spend the money in a different way? Why don't we, with the same amount of money, you and I both take a vacation and go somewhere that we've never been? And she thought about it, and she has a friend in Miami, and her friend said, you all can come stay with us. And my mom crunched some numbers and figured that we could both fly and stay for a week and really enjoy ourselves for much longer. So that was my first visit to the United States, and my mom and I had a great time. And one of the things that I got out of the experience was that in many situations I was there during that week, and I couldn't understand what people were saying, and it was very frustrating. And I thought, this will never happen to me again. So when I went back home, I was very determined to learn English so that if I ever went back on another vacation such as that one, I would not be left out and feel like others were talking about me, even if they weren't. But I was a paranoid 15-year-old girl. So I went back home and I asked my mom to see if it was possible for me to go to this school where I could study English. And she, crunched the numbers again, and she was able to come up with enough money to put me through this school where that's all you do is learn English. I grew up in Honduras, and we didn't have much money, but my mom and my dad cared very much about my education, so they thought that this was important, and it wasn't anything that would break the bank, so they agreed. And so I studied English for a year and a half, and I learned a lot. Not enough to be fluent, that came later, but that was the journey. That's how I learned English, and I am very glad I did, because now I get to use that language for my passion, a passion that I found much later in life, but that I couldn't give up now. And I believe that was the first step that got me here where I am. There's very many more steps between there and now, but we can talk about that during another episode. For those wondering how writing is going, I'm still working on Weaver. It's only been 2 weeks since the last episode, and I've made some progress, but really the report is the same as before. It's going slowly since I'm working on the Marked by Fate box set, working very hard promoting that. And so Weaver is just moving along very, very slowly, but it's moving. Reading wise, I finished Queen of Shadows. It was very good. I enjoyed it. There were a few surprises in it, and I very much enjoy one of the characters who is a witch and who has always been very harsh and a very strong fighter and determined to get her people's home back no matter the cost. Well, she has had a little change of heart, and it was very nice the way that the author worked that in. And I always like seeing characters grow like that, so I enjoyed it very much. The next book in the series is Empire of Storms, and I thought I would jump right into it, but it looked thinner. I thought I could do it. The other one was like 660 something pages, and then I come to realize this is actually over 680 pages. So they just kind of packed everything tighter and made the paper thinner. So I wasn't ready to jump into another big book. So instead, I decided to read something shorter. So I found something contemporary, and that is Looking for Alaska, which I'm reading on ebook. And this is a book by John Green, and I'm about halfway through it. And I'm not sure what I think about it yet. We'll see what happens at the end. But it's short, so I should finish it quickly, and I should get my Goodreads challenge up to speed because I was falling behind. And another reason that I'm falling behind is that I'm reading these big books or listening to these big audiobooks. I am still working on Morning Star. I am now on CD 13, which I was on CD 6 last time. And it's 18 of them, so I still have a few left, but I only get to listen to the audiobook on my way to work, which is maybe like 15-20 minutes at the most, back and forth, and only 5 days a week, not on the weekends or holidays, so it stretches out a little bit. But I'm almost done, and I'm quite enjoying this last book in this series. If you haven't given Red Rising a chance, the author is Pierce Brown. It's great. It's a science fiction. It's a dystopia, but it's way into the future. And unlike, say, the Hunger Games, a lot of it takes place in Mars and in space. And it is a huge, epic sci-fi with intergalactic battles and feuds over planets and moons and, you know, not little stuff, just big stuff like that. And the characters are bigger than life, and just epic. This past weekend, I also stacked my shelves a little bit and got a couple of more books. These were bargain books. We have a store here called Second and Charles where there's a lot of secondhand books, but a lot of them are in extremely good shape. And I found a book of Spirits and Thieves, and that was $4.99, no, $5.95. This one was $5.95, and it's in extremely good shape, and it's a hardback. So I've seen this cover a lot, and I really like it. So I read the blurb, and it seems interesting, so I'll give it a try at some point. I also got Illuminati. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it was also $5.95, also a hardback. This is a very, very different book. The format is extremely different, and I am really, really interested in reading it. I did notice when I got it that this cover, which is kind of plastic, is split, but it's still a good deal for $5.95. last time I was wearing my To Be or Not to Be t-shirt. This time I'm also wearing one of my favorite ones, and this one is a Harry Potter one, and it has the stag and it says Expecto Patronum here on the side. I really love this t-shirt. We got it in Universal Studios maybe like 3 years ago when I went with my family, and it was a complete blast, and I couldn't leave without some sort of souvenir, and a t-shirt is always perfect. Now to a super fun part, and that's to the monthly giveaway. So last time I wanted to hear from you what you thought about the horror genre. A few of you went over to the link I posted below to Facebook where we could have a discussion about it. I heard from a few of you, and it was interesting to hear what your favorite movies were, and also your favorite books and what creeped you out. So if you wanted to enter the giveaway, that was the way that I would select a winner. So there were 7 comments. The first one was me, so that doesn't count. So it's actually 6 comments, and I have downloaded hold on, this app which is called Random, and you can use it to pick a random number. The minimum number, I guess, would be 2 because my comment doesn't count, and there were like I said, 7 comments including mine. So we will say 7, and we will hit this generate button, and it will give us the winning comment. So whatever number comes up, I will count from the top excluding my comment, and the person that is that comment is gonna win the book, which is a young adult book. That's a requirement, and it's any book that you want. And the only other requirement is if you're international, it has to be available through Book Depository, because they mail international, and your country has to be in their list. So here we go. Let's see who the winner is. 6. All right, so 6 is the number, is the winner. So let me go to Facebook here and figure out who the comment number 6 is. All right, so here it is. My first comment doesn't count, so we will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Adriana Kennelly, you won. So just go to my website, and in the contact page, send me your information. And my website is ingridseymour.com, and I'll put a link at the bottom so you'll know where to go to send me your information. Congratulations. I will also go to the Facebook post and tag you so that you know what's going on, that you were the lucky winner of one young adult book. Oh, and I don't want to forget, my daughter made the little introduction at the beginning of the video. I hope you liked it. She wanted to do that for me, and so she did a stop motion video using my books and some Funko Pops. She's very sweet, and I used the little video for an introduction. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I absolutely love it. All right, well, I'll see you next time, which would be episode 3. Over and out.